Gig workers. They often get called things like lazy, unintelligent, entitled, and skillless, just to name a few. In this docuseries, we talk to the people who are a part of a new and kind of confusing to some way of making a living in today's society. We will get to know what career field they were previously in and what drove them into entering the gig economy. You will get an inside look into the real people and not just a name and a picture on a phone screen. Welcome to our appealing lives. Today's episode is featuring Tatiyana, aka Gig Gal 440. Let's see what her experience is like in the gig economy. All right. What type of work did you do before gig work?
So me and like 90 other percent of gig workers, I was in the restaurant industry, the service industry. I started out as like the to-go girl. Just kind of like, just had my other son. My first son was just trying to get in somewhere. It was either serving or Walmart. And I was like, I'm going to go with Applebee's. So I did that, and I ended up moving up, went to car side to server, from server to bartender, from bartender to cook, learned all the stations, eventually became a manager, and then realized that that's just is not going to work. Sorry, my dog started like freaking out.
That's okay.
Became a manager. Things just weren't working out. It was like prime time of coming back from COVID and short staff and underpaid, overwork. And it was just, I never seen the kids. Was paying like $1,000 a month just to daycare for both of them. And it was just not it. So I left managing and went to serving at Outback. And I served there for about a year, got pregnant. Their steaks made me puke, so I quit. And then started working at Quaker Steak, left there to go to Longhorn. And then I did a little gig work on the side when I was a manager. I just did DoorDash, but it was just kind of like I just got approved. This is cool. Never really took it serious. I was just like, oh, this is cool. Left it alone for an entire year, didn't touch it. And then came back to it after I had the baby and was like, I'm working 1 day a week as a server. I need some extra money. This isn't going to work. So just service industry, just regular stuff.
Okay. Sounds good. So you was a little bit of everything. Like you did everything when it came to that.
Yeah, I became a kitchen manager by the age of 21.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I worked my butt off. That's why it's so weird when people were telling me to get real jobs. Like I've done that. You don't know what anybody does. So it's like I have the skill to do it, but do I want to slave away and not see the kids? And
bingo.
You got to put a sacrifice somewhere. I'll put a sacrifice in not having a real job to take care of my children.
Bingo. You see, and that's crazy because that's always one of my questions. I always ask people about that, so we're gonna get to that later. You can definitely voice your opinion. That's what this is all about, because I get so tired of hearing that. I get so tired of hearing that. All right, and then you kind of answered it, but what led you to getting into the gig economy?
It was just so my mom, she played a huge part in it because she was the first one to realize that like there's some good money. You got to put the work in, though. The hardest part about gig work is being your own boss. Hardest part about gig work is waking up in the morning and getting out there and staying out if it's dead and things like that. And it's like, I'd see her stuff. She's pulling in $800-900 a week, just DoorDash alone. Like she's out there. But granted, her kids are adults, things like that. So she can be out there all day. For me, DoorDash wasn't enough. DoorDash wasn't enough. It was like cool and everything, but DoorDash has always kind of been like my back burner app. Like if nothing else is going on, I'll turn on DoorDash. But I don't remember when I applied for Instacart. I just remember I was in the Dunkin' Donuts line and I was looking at my email and it said something about Instacart, you're approved. And I'm like, oh shoot, I'm approved for Instacart? Oh snap. So I started doing a little bit of Instacarts. Very rarely. I got approved in like February. Didn't start doing my first order until about end of March. And one day I got off of work at Longhorn and I was like, let me turn this on and see what's going on. And I made like $80 in like an hour and a half. And I'm like, ooh. I was like, this could be something. So I tried it again. I was doing maybe one order a day, a little $30 order a day. And I was like, if I do this for one day, for 5 days, I'll have this much extra for bills. I'll have this much. And then it just went on from there. Then I signed up for Spark, signed up for Uber, signed up for Grubhub, and now I just have a whole arsenal.
Man. Woo. Yeah, I can only imagine that. If I saw an $80 right off the rip with Instacart, I don't think I would have ever even touched food delivery.
Yeah, I'm like, you can get it. If you can get it faster, I don't think you can get it faster with shopping. It all just depends on who's shopping and where you're at. Because there's sometimes me and my mom are on the phone all the time. She'll knock out 3 or 4 deliveries and make $40 by the time I finish a $40 double on Instacart.
That's
so like,
true.
It's just all about what your preference is. I just prefer shopping. So.
Yeah, because it's less miss. Like that's what I always tell people. Gig work is hit or miss, but whatever app is less miss for you is usually going to be your primary app.
Right. I like the fact that you don't get penalized for an acceptance rate. I like the fact that you don't have to wait on somebody else to get your items for you. Like if you got an $18 double DoorDash, but the store is absolutely packed and you're looking at an hour and a half wait, are you going to sit there and wait for it? You're going to have to drop the order and then it's going to penalize you. And then it's like, Instacart, on my own pace, on my own shop, I do things that I do. I don't have to worry about any workers or anything like that. Nobody giving me an attitude. I just focus on what I'm doing at that moment, shopping in general. So I think that's why I don't like DoorDash, because I've said it before on one of my lives. I feel like DoorDashers are placed in like a little bubble of like the people who just stand there, tap their foot, huff and puff, stare at their phones, shove phones in people's faces and stuff. And that's not all of us, but we get treated like that at many, many stores. And at some point, I just get tired of just not being acknowledged. That's why I don't like food delivery. I hate it because I'm not the type to do that. I'll just drop it and leave. And then what happens? I get deactivated because I just don't want confrontation.
You're right. You are so right. I think we all have encountered that. And some places, no matter how polite we are, it's like still attitude. It's still, yeah.
Can't be polite to you if you don't acknowledge me.
Yeah. It's so true. That is so true. Oh man. So my next question, this one is you've already mentioned it, but some people answer, some people don't. And then it is, do you have any children, and did they play a part in your decision to enter into the gig economy?
Mm-hmm. So back in 2021, I adopted my niece, got some custody of her to help my sister out. And so when I got her, she was 8 and my son was 5, 6. And what I had to do, because I was at Applebee's and they just love to just overwork people, 10-hour shifts 5 days a week, but those 10-hour shifts were never 10-hour shifts. They were 11, 12-hour shifts with the 30, 45-minute commute home the entire time these kids are in daycare. What kind of life is that? Mm-hmm. On top of it, they're paying me $14 an hour to do this, refuse to give me a raise. And so basically my 2-week paycheck, I'd give them $500 out of my 2-week paycheck, which left me with like nothing. It left me with like $600 for 2 weeks to pay bills and live life. So I ended up leaving Applebee's for that reason, not necessarily getting into gig work for that reason. But once I had my newest son, my 1-year-old, I'm struggling having to ask people to babysit. If somebody can't babysit that day, I have to call off. If if me and my husband planned it so where he has a day off that I could go to work, but he's a general manager, so like not saying that like his job is more important than mine, but his job is more important than mine. He's a general manager, I'm a server, like, so if one of his managers called off, he'd have to go in, and then I'd have to call my job. I'm so sorry, I have to call off, blah, 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 blah. And anybody who's worked a regular job knows that is the shittiest feeling, is to have to call off. Like, it's not fun. I'm not doing it. And then people would be like, oh, well, why should we cater to you because you have kids? Like, blah, 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 because whatever. So I was just, once I seen that Instacart could pull in some stuff, I was like, well, I can take my baby to do this. It's warm outside. He likes to sit in carts. I'm sure he wants to get out of the house. We just started doing it. And then that was that. I stuck with Longhorn for a little bit. I worked 1 day a week, but then it just got to the point where I was like, I'm making more money doing this than I am working here. And when I'm here, I don't know how much I'm going to make. I don't know when they're going to send me home. I don't know how much side work they're going to put me with. Because when you're a server, once you get cut, doesn't matter if you were there for 5 minutes or 3 hours, you got to roll silverware, sweep tables, stock this, do that, get signatures before you can leave, and everybody's busy, and you end up there an hour and a half later making $4 an hour doing cleaning. Like, I don't want to do that anymore. I just didn't want to do it anymore.
Man, that's crazy. I relate so much because I have children of my own, and my wife and I had to do something so similar. So everything you're saying, that's why you see me over here nodding my head like it was about to fall off. I look like a bobblehead.
Any parent, whether it's a father or a mother, because it's not just for moms, there's parents, it just plays a big role. And like nowadays, society isn't built for somebody to be a stay-at-home parent unless the other partner is literally working their butts off and not even seeing anybody in the family, or just whatever. And it's just like my husband, he'd be able to take care of the bills, but we would be struggling. Right. We would, because it's just everything is so expensive. We have 3 kids. They're growing like wildfire. New shoes every freaking 3 months, clothes, this, that. We live in Ohio. The season's different every day. Like different things. You can't leave the house without spending $100. So it's just like, if I can do this and pay bills that are under my name, at least credit card bills, car payment, car insurance, things that are my name, I would never ask him to pay any of my loans that I've taken out. Like, that's on me, So I was like, my first goal was, let me pay some credit card bills. Second goal was, if I can get my car payment, that'd be smooth. Third goal was, let's just do this. So
it's always that moment where it clicks and you're like, wait, I could really replace my job with this. And that's what people don't understand. That's why when they say get a real job, they never understand or know somebody's story. So, you can't just judge a book by its cover. You have no idea. And I always thought a real job was anything that you did work, because being a parent is a full-time job.
If I could file taxes for it, it's a real job.
Exactly. And there's some that you can't, because being a parent is a full-time job. I don't know anybody who doesn't have children may not understand that, but that is a full-time job. You don't have any sick days. You don't get any days off, because them kids need you, and you got to do what you got to do. So I definitely understand where you're coming from. Man.
Yeah.
So this next question, you kind of answered it already, but we still gonna ask it. What app do you primarily use?
Oh, I didn't answer that. Spark. Spark.
Okay.
Walmart Spark. That is my number one. When Spark is not sparking, my heart is hurting. My heart hurts. When Spark, I could probably cut Spark on right now, and like 8 different offers would pop up. Like, for some reason, I don't know why, because I see a lot of people say that Spark doesn't spark for them, but like over here, I live like 5 minutes away from the Walmart, so it's like I'm in a hot spot always, and two, it's just because it's kind of like plays into the shopping orders. But Spark, they do have those pickup orders, which I completely avoid. Whenever I give them a chance, they fail 9 times out of 10. But their shopping orders are just top tier. Like they'll have one person, always just one person shop. You don't have doubles or triples or anything like that. They pretty much, like, if they see that there's an order that has 40 items or more, they're paying at least $30 just in base pay. Yeah, just in base pay. The tips, usually the tips aren't super good on Spark. Like there'll be a $4 tip, a $6 tip, maybe a $13, but it's like, it seems like Spark cares about their drivers and gives them a correct base pay for it, especially for shopping orders. You might not see it on pickup orders, but definitely for shopping orders, that's pretty much been my main. I think I made this week that just ended on Sunday, $500 just on Spark, with me also doing other apps as well. So it's always pretty much like the main chunk of my weekly income for everything. It's a great app.
Man. Whew.
Are you not on it?
No, they had me on the wait list for 2 years, and I even applied in other areas, but I'm in Atlanta, well, around Atlanta, so my market is super duper oversaturated. So it's like, if you didn't get on this wave like 4 years ago type of deal, you're pretty much screwed.
Luckily for me, I applied in May and got approved at the end of July. Lucky.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I know there's certain areas too. It depends on where you are. If there's a lot of gig workers where you live, then that definitely does it. But if it's not, and it's not oversaturated, then it's easy to get on.
I also don't live in a big city either. I live in a small little town, pretty much. It's just there. I do see a lot, and it is oversaturated lately, especially with I'm sure that they did a mass hire around the holidays. I'm sure they did. During the holidays, I did not see anything. I was making maybe $90 on Spark a week. Literally, this new year just brought everybody else out. I think everybody who was doing it kind of got tired and was like, this isn't doing anything. They're throwing out all these incentives every day. Just a list of incentives trying to get people out, and it was just so oversaturated and it was terrible for a while. But it was like that for all the apps too. It was DoorDash, Uber, it was everybody, people. And I'm not one to knock anybody bringing their family, because I take my kids with me, things like that. But you'll see people in a car with 3 different phones just going ham. I don't knock nobody's stuff. I could care less what they get. Really isn't bothering me. I see people posting stuff about I've seen one where there's these people who one person would go in and they'll shop the order while somebody else sits in the car and looks for another one, and then when you're done shopping the order, they'll come out with the groceries, switch phones, and then she'll shop the next one. And I was just thinking, damn, why didn't I think of that?
That's kind of genius.
You gotta get it. It's independent contract. You gotta fight. You gotta get out there. You gotta be there. You can't sit at your house with your shoes not on and you're not dressed, wondering why you're not getting no orders. Get out there. So, I don't knock anybody's style unless they're using bots or this or that or whatever. If you're cheating the system illegally, then that's one thing. But if you're just a husband and wife just out there, do it,
Yeah, absolutely.
There is no difference.
I agree with you on that one. Yeah, because my wife, sometimes she comes with me and we work together. We try to find things that work together and go the same direction and things of that nature. So I agree with you.
Lou and Mary, are people gonna hate on them because they're using 2 phones? No.
Yeah, come on.
It's just what it is. We're independent contractors. There's no boss here. We don't have any rules here. It's a free for all.
Right.
You get the orders or you don't. But that's why I like Spark, because Instacart is just a flat out Call of Duty free for all on shipment.
Mm-hmm.
Just gunfire everywhere. But Spark, they'll at least give you a little chance and send you those round robins. 90% of my round robins are my fat orders that I get, my $60, $70 orders that I get. That's why I like it. They still give you a chance. They give you something.
Okay, so Spark, you saying it's not released to everybody? Is it
some
is
orders, specific orders? You get your first come first serve orders, which are the orders that probably got sent out as round robins that nobody else wanted, so they declined them, and then it probably like through 3 or 4 people they end up just popping it up on a first come first serve, and whenever it doesn't get taken, in about a minute, every 2 minutes, they raise it up $1 or $2 depending on the urgency of getting it out, same as every other app. But they will throw out, it's called a round robin, it's called, accept this order by this time. It gives you a little time limit to accept it. And they send it to specific drivers, and they usually
based on numbers.
Yeah, based on, I don't know if acceptance rate works or not. Mine's at a 50 right now and it's in the green, so we'll see how that works out for me today. But they send trash just like every other app, but they're pretty good. They give you that chance to get the orders. Instacart is, you gotta literally be eyes on the screen all the time.
So. Yeah, I always say with Instacart, it's a little harder to multi-app with it sometimes because you can miss stuff because you have to be so locked in.
Yeah.
That's one of my biggest pet peeves with Instacart, but it is a good source of income though. Depends on where you live.
I feel like Instacart might be the most oversaturated app in my area.
Absolutely.
People just can't. They just can't. Like, I don't even attempt to even go to Costco anymore because you're not going to see anything. I'll go to Sam's Club before I go to Costco. You just see people sitting in their cars, just waiting. And it's just, at this point, it's like how I have my car set up is I have Instacart as my main screen on my phone. Because you miss orders. DoorDash sends me like a bling bling, so I can hear that. So if I get that, I switch over to that app to look at the order. UberEats is on my Apple CarPlay, so I can see the orders on that screen. And then Spark sends me the round robins, and those are the ones that I focus on. I don't care about first come first serve because obviously there's something wrong with that order if somebody doesn't want it, so I'm not focusing on it. So when they send me a round robin, I have about 2 minutes to check to see. So I'm just kind of like constantly like looking down at the notifications. So Instacart is up pretty much, but I haven't really been on it lately. Most of the time lately, I haven't even been turning it on. I'll turn it off if it's dead or if I'm out like in an area where there's a lot of stores, but it's just $7, 2 shops, 8 miles. Like, I don't even, it's terrible.
I've been seeing some real bad ones.
Terrible.
Yeah, I've been seeing some real bad ones. I haven't turned it on for like a week because of that. It's been bad. But what you were talking about with Spark, have you ever done a video like explaining how Spark works?
I did a little one, and it's in the title of the video, Spark Shop Explained, because somebody asked me a question on how the checkout worked. But I haven't done like an actual video kind of explaining it because I don't know. I just kind of, when I'm recording, I just go about my day. I don't really have a plan. And I think that's why doing YouTube channels for this gig work is harder because
it is.
Like when I first made the YouTube channel, I was like looking up videos and they're like, well, try to get your thumbnail made before your video. Try to get your title idea before you record your video. And it's like, you don't know what the day has in store for you. So you really can't do that. It doesn't apply. So I just kind of just take the GoPro with me and whatever happens. But I did make a video explaining at least the shops because everything else is pretty self-explanatory. You know, you see an order, you take it. If it's a pickup, they explain everything so perfectly. Like if you've seen the interface, you'd know what it is. but the shops were a little different because they don't give you a shop card. They don't give you like a payment card. You don't have to scan anything at checkout. You just bag the items and go. You scan scan a QR code. It pulls up a digital receipt that the customer has paid and a list of the items. So if you get checked at the door, and that's it. So
I still think you should do a video doing that.
It
sounds like a great idea. Because there's people that really want you to walk them through, like, and hold their hand. So they probably would really like it.
I get a little iffy with doing like recording inside of Walmart because I see a lot of people getting like yelled at or deactivated for it and things like that. So I try not to like record in Walmart, but I'll probably do a walkthrough. It's just I would have to find a small order and just kind of like screen record it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yep.
It's, just screen record it or something. I try to be more informational, but with me right now, I don't have money to be informational about things right now. I'm trying to get these orders out and done real quick. So I did, like I said, I did a little Spark. I screen recorded, put it on the side, and kind of like explained at least the Spark shop, because for the Spark pickups, they're terrible over here. So you're not really going to learn much from me over here, because 9 times out of 10, I'm having to drop the order anyways.
Right. No, I get it.
It's been a minute since I've actually done a Spark pickup from Spark. I've done a couple on the UberEats app, but like I think my last one was when I had all them damn 2 liters, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna give this a rest for a little bit.
Yeah, that's another thing, because then you don't know what you're getting. Yeah, I personally hate Walmart pickups from all apps. I don't like to take them. It's always a gamble. It's always a long wait.
Well, Spark will show you. But the thing about Spark is that they prioritize 3 people orders. So you got 3 large ass grocery orders in your car. So it's like if your market prioritizes in pickups and you don't see many shops, that's just what you got to do. For me though, I don't do the pickups, so I couldn't really do a video on pickups.
Right.
I don't do them. I do them every once in a blue moon if it's good. But there was one time a $56 one popped up. I accepted it, and usually they'll give you like a arrive by this time, and it'll be about 45 to the hour. So if you accept it at 4:00, you don't have to be there till 4:45. But that's blocking you from getting other orders. Is blocking from getting other orders. So like you won't, so you got to do a DoorDash or something like that to kill the time. And then you get there at the time that you're supposed to be there, and then maybe they'll bump the time up another 10 minutes, and then they'll give you a little thing. It still says they're packing up. I got a $56 order, and I was sitting out there for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
It's too much.
Yeah, it's not worth it at that point, because you could have tried to hustle something else, and
I could have did a shopping order instead. Yeah. I probably missed a really good one waiting on it. So I don't really recommend pickups, but the shops, I'll probably do a pretty good video on it. Like I said, I just kind of go out, like I don't have a plan. I'm just like out here, let's get it, guys.
Yeah, me either. Like the plan just comes based on the day, and then once how the day turns out, then you watch back the footage. At least in my perspective, I watch back the footage, and then I'm like, okay, that seemed interesting. Let me focus on that, and then that's kind of how.
When I'm out during my day, I try to think like, okay, what's a good title? What can I title this? What is an eventful thing that happened that I can do? So, because, we ain't clickbaiters over here.
No.
We're not going to post a mass deactivation video and it's not that.
Yep. That's another thing. Like people really like the honesty. And I think that's another reason why people love your channel, is because you're honest. You don't do a lot of nonsense. You don't get involved in all the drama, and you just focus on what you focus on, and you don't follow trends. like everybody did the whole DoorDash earn by time videos and challenges and all of these different things, and you were like, listen, that's not making me money, so I'm not doing it.
I tried it. I gave it a try. I'm trying to get this acceptance rate up. And it wasn't even the trends. It was when I would post the video and the non-tippers would get in there and get so offended because they don't tip. And they'd be the ones offended. And I'm just like, wow, this is really your guys' thought process? Cool. I ain't doing this anymore.
It's crazy. They get so angry. They really do. They get so angry.
It's ridiculous. And then they just say, get a real job. And why should I'm not your boss. Why should we pay? And in my opinion, in my full wholehearted opinion, out of everything, out of serving, out of being a barber, out of cutting hair, out of all of that stuff, I think that gig work is probably top 3 that is deserving of a tip before delivery, because
I believe it.
We're out here shopping. Like, for instance, for me, I'm in Ohio. Like I said, there's snow everywhere. Roads are icy. They're not plowing their driveways. I'm in their store shopping for your weeks of groceries. Mm-hmm. And you think that I don't deserve a tip? You would tip a server going to the back. I've served. I've done it all. I've cooked. I've served. I car-sided. I hosted. I did it all that required tips. And it's like, as a server, yeah, it's hard work. I'm not going to downplay it or anything, but you have a drink machine, you pour the drinks, you put the food into the computer, you go grab the food after the cook just slaved away in the back to make it. Mm-hmm. If you work at a high-end restaurant and that order came out to $100, guess what? 20% is $20. You have 5 tables, tip you $20, and you make $100.
Right.
But you don't want to tip the person bringing you your food or bringing you your groceries, and you tell us to get a real job. It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me. Not saying that people shouldn't tip servers, but like if you have the mentality of tipping already for servers, why wouldn't you tip people who are doing a service for you?
Right.
It's just
I don't get it. Yeah, I don't get it. And they can get refunded. Like, that's the thing. Like, if something goes wrong, they literally can get their money back. So I never understood the concept of, well, I'm only going to tip afterwards. And it's like, but you can literally, they're not going to do that. Yeah. Just like when they say, I tip in cash. Yeah.
I tip in cash. Like I said, I had somebody say that, cause I'm in all the little Facebook groups. Somebody was like, I put an envelope of cash on my back door and put the instructions to go to my back door. And I'm like, I'm not going to somebody's back door in the middle of the night on a no-tip order.
Yeah, that's
like,
crazy.
I don't know what your tip is going to be. Is it going to be cash or is it going to be an axe murderer? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
I've had people do that.
Yeah, don't ask us to go to your backyards. Don't ask us to go anywhere but your front door or maybe your side door at most. Like, we're not going to
your side door.
Like, it's not like, it's safety first. And they just kind of like, oh, well, they didn't look at my instructions to go to the back door, so I'm not tipping.
Okay. Like, I'm going to take that chance of not getting the tip than you coming out and being a serial killer.
Right. Or robbing or anything like that.
Yes.
Like, it's crazy.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, I don't do the back door. I'll call you and I'll tell you, hey, can you meet me in the front? Especially unless it's daytime. If it's daytime, I don't have a problem. But sometimes I work at night and I get people at like 2:30 in the morning telling me to come to their back door, and I'm like, bro, I'm not.
See, for me, it's more about being on their property line.
Yeah.
Like I delivered somewhere just the other day where they said to deliver at this door, which I did. It was kind of like a business, but the dude had a sign on his door that said basically he will shoot any trespassers. I'm like, what the? Like, let me get out of here. Like, I don't know if he placed this order, if somebody placed it for him or anything like that. He doesn't know I'm here. Like, it's just, you just got to be careful. You got to be careful and follow that gut feeling. Because there's lots of places. Like, I just went into somebody's house yesterday and brought the groceries in. They were in a wheelchair. They could have had an axe murderer sitting in the kitchen waiting for me, but I didn't have a bad gut feeling about that one. She left me a note. I called her, everything like that. I offered to bring it in when I seen that she was in a wheelchair and couldn't get the groceries off the floor. So it's just about safety. And a lot of these people don't understand that. They think that we're going to go above and beyond, bring it upstairs. Like that one guy on Pedro's Live, if you were there, I want you to bring it to my room in my bed for no tip.
No.
No. Why?
No. Not happening. I don't get it. People, that could turn into a whole nother, we could talk about that for like 3 hours, really. Like that could turn into a whole nother topic, because boy, the things that these people do. Let me get to the next question, because I'm looking at the time and I don't want you to be late.
No, you're good.
What is your plan after gig work, or do you plan on staying in the gig economy?
So I guess that I don't really have a plan right now, because I got the children. Because at the end of the day, whether I stop gig work when my son goes into school, or whether I stop gig work tomorrow, daycare is still going to be $1,500 for 3 kids a month. So until society understands that a mom can't be a mom and a full-time worker at a W-2 most of the time without having to sacrifice her family or sacrificing a little bit at work, I'll probably end up just staying with the gig work, because they want moms or single parents, or whoever the primary parent is, to work like they don't have kids, but to parent like they don't have a job. And that's just, until my kids are probably pretty much grown, my youngest is like 14, I'll probably end up venturing off to do something else. Who knows? But as long as this is paying my bills right now, I'm content with it. Every mom wants to be a stay-at-home mom in some sense, and I feel like I got the perfect little mixture of, I can be a stay-at-home mom, but since I have the mentality that I was always able to get things for myself, and I don't want to have to ask for money when I want, a snack at the store or energy drink or something like that, or need extra help with groceries because I have no money. I have a perfect little mix, because I can spend time with the kids, take whatever day off I want. It's right now it's good, but seeing the way that everything is going in the gig economy, with like it's kind of going down because more people are getting on it and more people are being selfish on it and knocking on people's doors who don't tip, or slipping notes in their bags and everything like that. Or even this legislation that they're talking about. If things end up changing, I'm gonna have to just adapt and change with it. But I do want to get into real estate here pretty soon. I went to college for it when I was pregnant, but they want you to do, some stuff that I just don't have a babysitter for, and then they don't pay you at that to do it. So it's like, I just kind of roll with the punches, see what opportunities come up every different day. That's it.
So I just want to, for that. That was a brilliant answer. Bravo.
Thank
you. I couldn't have said that better myself. Ooh, I understand. How do you feel when people say get a real job?
When people tell me to get a real job, it just blows my mind. Because you know what? When they say that, they don't tip. That is the main I don't tip mentality. It is the main one. It's the main one. Because it's just like, what do you think I'm out here doing? What do you think? You think that I'm just out here being charity? Like, you know what? I want to give back to my community and just deliver some food for free. What do you think that this is? Okay, so here's how I view the get a real job thing. If you are doing gig work, and anybody who's watching this, no hate on you, but if you're focusing and only have one app in your arsenal, maybe you do need to get a real job. If you're focusing on just DoorDash or just Instacart or just UberEats or whatever it is that you're doing, and you're complaining that you're not making enough money, and you're getting online and you're saying this, and you're doing this and you're doing that, and you're not doing what you need to do if you wanted to do this as a full-time gig. If you have just DoorDash, you're just not doing it. So for people who have 3-4 different apps, they are the ones that do this full time. The people who only have one app do it part time, and 9 times out of 10 they have a W-2 and they just do it for a little extra money. So when people say get a real job, it's like, to some it applies. If you're expecting to make $8,000-9,000 a week doing one thing, you're not going to do it. It's just not going to work. And that's why it's like when get a real job or this is a skillless job comes into play, it irritates me a little bit, because it's like, this is probably one of the hardest things, trying to drive, deal with traffic, shopping or delivering, stacking orders, making sure everything's correct. You got customer service involved. You got everything. Pretty much any job that you could do at a W-2, you can tie it in to that's what you're doing with these gig apps. Serving, being a secretary, conflict resolution, all the different things, other than maybe being a doctor, but who knows, maybe somebody can keel over and start having a stroke and you got to do some magic work. You never know what's going to happen. But it's just like, it's a very complicated job. For people to say it's not a real job, it is a real job, and at that, it's very complicated. It's not just picking up food, dropping food off. If that's all you make it, then yeah, get a real job. But you get what you put into it. If you're just gonna sit there, take no tip orders, knock on people's doors and stuff like that, get a real job then. But for people like me who use it, look at my kid. He's up now. Oh, it's okay. But yeah, the whole get a real job thing, it's so overplayed, and it's like, you guys say this, but yet you still order. You guys said this about fast food restaurant workers, and then guess what? When they went and got real jobs, you guys were mad that you were waiting in line for your McDoubles. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. At the end of the day, for the people who are saying get a real job, I'm not tipping, you should get a real job, I'm not your employer, just stop using the app. Go pick it up yourself. Guess what? I made myself some ramen noodles this morning because I didn't have enough money to DoorDash. Without tipping. Like, I'm not, cook at home. Get a real job. Like, go shop your own groceries.
Well said. Well said. All right, so what advice would you give someone who is considering joining the gig economy?
I would say, if you have a job and maybe you're not getting paid enough, or maybe it's not working out for you and your family, try it out. Don't quit your job. Please don't watch our videos of the GigTube world and just be like, I could do this. You know what? I quit, and then let me sign up for these apps. I would say, if you really wanted to get into it, sign up for every app that you can find that works for you. Sign up for Spark, Instacart, DoorDash, Uber, Roadie, all of it. Sign up for all of them, because you're going to be on a wait list. You are going to be on a wait list, and you're going to be waitlisted for a while. So if you're thinking about it, just sign up for it, because I don't think there's any apps out there, correct me if I'm wrong, that if you're not active on it, they will deactivate you. I don't think there is.
I'm sure. No.
Yeah, I'm sure like you can even go like 2 years without using it and still just cut it on. So like, first step is to just get on to the order. That's the first step. Second step is try it out. If you are somebody who already has a beat up car, maybe it's not the best for you. Not saying that like you can't do it at all, but maybe, a good advice would be to, if you have a work car and a play car, that'd be pretty good, because, whatever you're going to do, you're going to run your car into the ground. There's nothing you can do about it. That's just a sacrifice that you make. But at the end of the day, it's just like I said, for me, I got into it for family. I got into it to make some extra money as a stay-at-home mom. I would like my target audience to be more towards stay-at-home parents, because it shows them that like, you can do this, you can bring in some extra income, you can be able to save up and stuff like that. But people who have regular jobs too, it's not something that's too far-fetched. I would just say first thing to do is just sign up. Just sign up. If you're thinking about it, just sign up. One day you'll get off of work and be like, you know what? Let me try it out. Try it out. You might like it. You might not. But if it's something that you don't like to do, if you don't like to drive around, don't do it. If you don't, it's a lonely thing to do. We don't have coworkers anymore. We're sitting in our cars alone most of the time. And it's just, if you're a person who is a people person, you might not want to do it. It's hard work. It's hard. It plays a big toll on you mentally and physically, and it's the same as any other job. So if you're content and you're good at your job and you're getting paid well and you're just upset because Susie made a rumor about you, brush that off and keep working your job.
Bingo. Well said. And the last question is, any last words in general? Whatever you want to talk about. If you got any plugs, I got to go watch her channel.
Yeah. GigGal440, watch my channel. Yeah. I would just say also, the gig economy YouTube is not big, but it's big. And I would say that, like, if you have anything and you have opinions and you want to share them, and maybe you do this and you watch us, talk to us. Comment with us, make some videos. It's hard to do sometimes, and you don't have to post one every day, but look, we love to see new people. We love to watch new people. I love seeing new people come on, and I subscribe to them, and maybe I don't watch your videos all the time, but I definitely, I'm looking, and it's like, it's never too late to start anything that you want. It's never too late to start. I didn't think that when I made this channel on September 7th that I would be at, September 7th I made this channel, and today is January 22nd, and I'm at 1,318 subscribers. You can't really
flex that muscle.
Yeah. And it's just like, if you're going to do this, why not record it? Because there's people out there who want to see it. There's people out there with questions that want to know. And maybe your video will be the one that they click on to find out. And then they share it with their friends. You never know. It's, I would just say it's never, I had so many questions. Like, man, I want to, I don't know if you ever watched Gig Dollar Man.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was my first gig tuber I ever found. He was the first one. And I was watching his stuff and I'm like, dang, yeah, I could do that. Then I started watching Nola Grind, and he posted his earnings update video, and I'm like, I could do that.
Yep.
And I just did it. I seen a video of Trader. He posted a video right before I started making videos. He was like, if you out there and you're working and you ain't making content, what are you doing? And I'm like, you're right. What am I doing?
What am I doing?
Yeah. So it's just like, if you're out there and you're doing this gig work stuff and you're in with the gig tubers and you talk to them, you're in their lives and you're doing this and you're signed up for their memberships and stuff like that, we want to know who you are. Get out there, make some videos. If it blows up, it blows up. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But you know what? You got your voice out there. You were seen and you were heard no matter what. So that would be my only advice for, Even that's not good advice. It's my advice. So it's
no,
good.
that's great advice. That's what I would tell anybody. And even if you're shy on camera, you know what? You could do a POV channel. There's a lots of people that do that. They don't even show their face. So if you feel like I don't want to put a camera on me, then put a camera on what you're doing. That's all.
Right. Yeah. Perfect. It's just literally, I don't know. I love to see different people, different opinions, different encounters, just things like that. Just as long as you're not making videos of you knocking on people's doors, asking them why they're not tipping, because you give us a bad rap.
I don't like those videos. I don't really watch that type of stuff. I love seeing new people too, because everybody has their own story. Everybody's in a different area. I mean, like, even you, like this, like 4 people in your same state, but you guys are all in totally different areas. So
right.
y'all all have totally different experiences.
Me, Hustle, Nugs, and who else?
Yeah, you, Hustle, Nugs.
I'm sure
and who's the other one? Giggity. I don't know if you watch him.
Is he out here?
Yeah, he's in Ohio too.
Like Dayton or something like that, I think.
Man, I forgot where he's at exactly. I think he's near where Nugs used to be. I don't know if you watch his old videos from 2 years ago, but I think he's in the same market where he used to be back then.
Right.
I believe he's in. Damn, I forgot. I'll find it and put it.
Columbus,
I'll find it and put it.
Different
Yeah, it's so many areas, and that is what makes this stuff so fascinating. Is people from all over. That's why when
right, because me and Hustle, we're about 30 minutes away from each other, and it's so different.
It's night and day.
Totally different things going on.
Night and day.
I could never work out there. I tried it. I could not. I tried it twice, and I broke down in tears.
Yeah, I can only imagine, because it's like it's a whole different world. Like that's what people don't understand. You can be so close, but yet so far, and it's like it's so different, and that's what makes it cool. Like with Know Your Grinds, when he first came out, he really was. I think he grew so quickly too because he was in an area that nobody was in. Like I don't know any other content creators that's where he is. So that right there made him stand out. And then obviously the Tesla, his presentation is amazing. Camera, sound quality, like you feel like you're right there with him.
But I would say this, I would bring this up because you know what? I was watching Nola Grinds and love him to death. I love him to death. I love his videos. But one thing about becoming a content creator is that he got money to do that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sitting there thinking like, dang, should I get this kind of camera? Should I do this? And do I need this? Do I need that? And I'm making all these plans. I bought this damn microphone for like a lot of money, and I don't even use it. I don't even use it. I'm so glad I didn't shell out on a big camera, because if you're not a person who does that kind of stuff, like he probably already had it to begin with.
Yeah, that's true.
If you're not a person that's into that stuff and everything like that, use your phone. Use the GoPro, something small. You don't need all this high-tech, high-quality stuff. And at first when I made my channel, that's what I thought I needed. I thought that I needed this. I thought that I needed that. So, that would be another thing that for people, because I want people to get out here and make this YouTube money, like Absolutely. It's here. All it takes is views at one point, and it's just, you even got the haters. That's why I don't take down my haters' comments, because 9 times out of 10, the haters who comment on my stuff, when I go to hide their channel, I lose a subscriber. So I'm like, oh, you're hating, but you're subscribed. So in reality, you're supporting me. Cool. I'll leave you up.
I'll accept the help any way it comes. For real.
But, all right, I gotta.
Yeah, it's that time. It was good. This was a great interview. Thank you.